There I was, slamming my head into my desk like usual, thinking about what I should talk about next. What does anybody care about? What's there to talk about? I need inspiration, and it hit me. I should just watch everything. So here I am, making my way through every new anime this season has to offer. I've been hearing good things, and I'm excited to see what adventures the world of Japanimation has in store today. So I start skimming the titles, and wouldn't you know it, another revelation hits me. There's a lot of these, fantasy, isekais, titles that are as long as their own light novel. This is the world of anime today, so what's happening in this world? At first glance, I can barely tell them apart. I'm being cynical, I mutter to myself. I've never watched every new thing that comes out, so I'm sure to find new pleasures as of yet unknown to me. My rules for this are as follows. I'm generally watching 2 episodes of each show at minimum, and I'm only watching the new stuff this season, so no sequels, those will just have to wait. Anything I see in these episodes is fair game to talk about here, so if you want to go into one of those completely blind, come back and watch this after. There won't be any big endgame spoilers, but if I think something is particularly important to that premise, I may give a second warning like this before the show is discussed. So here it is, my Winter 2021 seasonal review, and we're swinging the doors open, nervous but full of anticipation. No holding back. What do we find? The opening sequence flashes between doctors trying to save our dying protagonist and the speech of strange foreigners speaking an unknown language. Our hero has been fatally wounded by a truck accident, and when he next opens his eyes, he is reborn. This sequence is visually quite interesting, as the world we currently inhabit seems to have a distinctive stylistic difference to the world we enter going forward. It's sudden, hearing people speak a language that sounds like gibberish to us as we flash into a new, confusing existence. It must be something similar to what it actually feels like to be shit out by your mom. That's how it works, right? They come out of... Never mind. So we don't spend much time in our previous life with our hero yet. Our protagonist is reborn as a baby in a strange medieval-looking country. Confusingly, he seems to still cling on to his previous consciousness as we are narrated to by the now dead person reincarnated through this child's body. That is to say, clearly, Rudius is the reincarnation of a 34-year-old Japanese man, and while we go through Rudius's new life, hearing him speak to people and everything, his inner thoughts are dictated by that same 34-year-old guy. If you're confused, that's okay, because so far the show hasn't clarified how that works. What is immediately clear about the situation, though, is that Rudy is a creepy pervert masquerading as a baby. He immediately tries to fondle his mom, which on the one hand is normal as a baby, but on the other hand is weird because we know he's no ordinary baby. Their maid knows something's up though. She tries to imply to mom that Rudius is acting strange, but to no avail. As Rudy acquaints himself with his new life, he laments that he will no longer be able to sit on his ass at his computer because the isekai world doesn't have electricity. I'd like to say this series rapidly progresses from here, but it's the slowest shit on earth. I'm probably supposed to think this is funny, but it's just fucking awkward and boring. So we're in a world with magic and shit, but the bottom line is we're following the reincarnation of a fat loser. We get flashbacks from his previous life where high schoolers are stringing him up like Jesus Christ on a cross and mocking his limp penis. That's pretty funny, I guess. We also see a scene where he's thrown out of his house after some guys discover him masturbating in his room while not attending his parents' funeral. So there's some message about getting a do-over at life because he's such a fuck up and even he can try again, but that message probably works better when he doesn't die and abandon his previous life in the hopes that he can be less of a fucking reject in magic world. And shocker, shocker, he's a gifted magician in isekai world, probably one everybody wants to fuck. I mean, his dad's a mega chad, and we see multiple scenes in the first 2 episodes alone where Rudius is just listening to his mom get pounded on the other room. Anyway, his parents discover when he's like 2 or something that he can do water magic when he blows a hole in their fucking house, so they hire a mage to teach him shit. Roxy, our lowly magician, shows up and proceeds to live with them for 3 years to teach him, but not before Rudy thinks to himself that she's a cute loli, yes, he says this, and that he wants to marry her. So great, our protagonist in context is a pedophile, but it's okay that he's a pedophile because he's a baby now. See, now it's not weird, even though the one who says it's the 34-year-old's voice and not the baby. So he awkwardly flirts with her during their training sessions, and it sounds cute since it's like a little kid saying, when I grow up, I want to marry my babysitter. Little does Roxy know he's secretly a 34-year-old unemployed obese man. This show tends to have little understanding of normal conversation, probably because our hero is a literal social retard that doesn't know anything about speaking to people unless it's about fucking them. There's far too many scenes where Rudy narrates to us some sort of clarification when he's talking while tacking on a comment about how it's not sexual, which no normal human being would assume is what he meant. He's just that fucking autistic. Anyway, the rest of the first 2 episodes are just watching this kid learn magic until Roxy says she can't teach him anymore because she's not good enough. Sometime in the middle there though, Rudy also catches Roxy masturbating to the sounds of his parents fucking, and he's like, well, she's a growing girl. What the fuck's going on here? Are you serious, guys? This isn't compelling. Without the awkward attempts at sex jokes, it's literally a show about a kid growing up and learning some magic. I don't really know where it's going, and I don't really think I want to know. And of course that's an isekai for no discernible reason other than to make the hero a relatable sad sack who can now redeem himself by wooing the hoes in Magic Land with his serious skills. It genuinely still holds all the patheticness of your average wish fulfillment isekai without it needing to even be one. He doesn't even go to the most fantastical of places aside from the magic and the occasional subhuman character. It's really just, I don't want to be this fat guy anymore, so I'll be reborn as an Aryan and life will be better since I don't have to work on myself. The whole thing would still be boring, but at a minimum less stupid and gross if he weren't still just a 30-year-old in a child's body. Like, things that would be normal for a child that he does only show that this character really never grew up, and it's a little late to be learning how to be normal from your dad at this point. Now you just need therapy. Have you ever had that fantasy that's like, I wish I could go back to elementary school but retain all the knowledge I have now to impress everyone? It's that. The show's that, except the main character is probably more maladjusted than you. It has, after I watched this, come to my attention that this was a highly anticipated series and has been getting a ton of positive attention and feedback. For the life of me, I don't know why. I firmly believe there are plenty of other things on this list that deserve way more love. Okay, I'm done talking about this one. Next!
I love anime. I love